Hello, everybody. This is Arun Jacob, your friendly and frank international education and migration advisor, coming live from Hamilton, New Zealand, like every week. My wonderful team and I, we assist young people from different parts of the world to consider overseas education as well as migration opportunities in different parts of the world by virtue of the fact that I'm based in New Zealand and also that our company is based in New Zealand. A lot of the focus we have is, of course, on creating New Zealand opportunities for different people from across the world. So, and of course, of late we have realized that our students and clients want beyond New Zealand. So, we are also now beginning to add those facets to our company, which is called AJV Services Limited. And our website is ajvglobal.com. But we are very, very active on Facebook. So just get onto Facebook and search for a page called AJV Global. We have a group on Facebook called NZ Options, which specifically deals with New Zealand opportunities. And of course, I have a YouTube channel. Just go and search Arun Jacob New Zealand. And I think there are about 150 or 160 odd videos now, which talk about the different aspects of studying and settling in New Zealand, the migration aspects, changes to law, etc., etc. So, well, I mean, we are the new age agency reaching out to all of you directly on YouTube as well as on Facebook Live. So, thank you everybody who has already come in, and I know some of you will take some time to join us. And but whoever joins us late, you could always rewind the video that gets put up at the end of the session and kind of review what was said and discussed. So while I wait for the questions, I would also make a request to those of you watching on YouTube. Please come to the AJV Global page on Facebook and please post your questions there. It will be a lot easier for me to answer those questions there because it's a little difficult to toggle between two tabs, and sometimes I realize that I probably don't do it well enough for the whole thing to hang, so I'm a little apprehensive about that. So requesting all of you lovely people watching this on YouTube as well as on Facebook to ask your questions on Facebook. Please search for AJV Global. That's our page. You can join up there and ask your questions. And while I wait for the questions to come in, as always, I will start off by a little my own opinion about certain aspects of moving and studying in New Zealand. And also, before the questions start, request everybody who's writing the questions to identify clearly if you're an AJV student or an AJV prospect who's already in touch with our team, so that I could customize my answer to that. And of course, I will also answer questions from non-AJV students and clients. But guys, sorry, I'm a bit selfish. My bigger, longer answers will be for our AJV students, but I promise I will also answer, however briefly, the questions from non-AJV students and clients as well. So those are pretty much the ground rules of this session. And so today I would like to, while I'm waiting for people to come on and start asking questions, I would like to touch upon one particular aspect. In my last broadcast last week, I actually mentioned that a lot of you guys coming to New Zealand are very fixated about something called a long-term skill shortage list, which is a list drawn out by the government of New Zealand, which talks about the long-term, sustaining skill shortages in New Zealand. So a lot of you write to us saying, "Hey, look, get me a course only in the long-term skill shortage list," which is easy when you already have a background in those subjects. But if you're coming from a background which is not related to those, it's a little difficult. And then my last monologue before we got into Q&A, my opening monologue was, don't get fixated about the LTSSL or the long-term skill shortage list. And if you're good in your attitude, skills, and knowledge, you could probably be doing very well in any area. So it doesn't matter whether your subject is in the long-term skill shortage list or not. There is an advantage, but also at the same time, it doesn't matter if you're strong in what you're doing. Today, I want to touch upon the fact that also do not get fixated by wanting to do only a master's in New Zealand, because again, a lot of you come to us and say, "Hey, look, I want to do only a master's because I've already completed my bachelor's and I want to do only a master's. So please help me with this particular course." And sometimes we are a little apprehensive to suggest that master's to you because, sure, we can go ahead and get you into a master's course, but by virtue of the fact that we are actually living in New Zealand and know the scenario here in New Zealand, sometimes it's probably not a very advisable thing for you to get into masters, because the masters is at a very high level of academic achievement in New Zealand. It's at a level 9. It's only one level below the PhD, which is a level 10. So the intensity of that course is very high, and a lot of you are coming in from backgrounds which were not conducive to doing own research. That learning was very different. So sometimes you're actually not very equipped to get into a master's in New Zealand. So when we recommend that you instead consider a postgraduate diploma or perhaps even a graduate diploma, sometimes I would request that you guys kind of take a look at it. Of course, if you're clearly a master's student with the ability to do own research and be able to keep moving ahead, we will tell you that as well. And that is clearly defined by how much of a IELTS score you get, because to get into masters, you require not only a good English score, but you also require certain basic academic parameters before you can get into a masters. So we will assess and come back to you. And if we think that, hey, look, you're definitely a master's student, we will let you know about that. There are certain advantages of doing a master's, but sometimes it may not be the best thing for you, because I mean, I can recall at least half a dozen of my students who insisted they want to come only for a master's to study a master's in New Zealand, and after they came here, they actually then got back in touch with us saying, "Oh, I mean, this is just too much of an effort, and it's way too intense. Can we step down and instead move from a master's into a postgraduate diploma level?" So, do not again be very fixated by the masters, guys and girls. And as your advisors, we've been around for about 16 years now doing this. So, please, have a good chat with us, and then we will take it from there. All right. So cool. So today's opening monologue or lecture is about not to get fixated about masters, and keep discussing with us. We have a very knowledgeable team, and between all of us, we will be able to, ensure that you're getting into the right course. And most importantly, I think the advantage of working with AJB, not only will you get a good course selection, but after you reach New Zealand, we are still there to talk to you. That's my license. I'm a licensed immigration advisor. So obviously, we are also giving you proper advice, which will lead to further jobs and visas and stuff like that. All right. So let's take it from there. So starting today, first question. Quite a few people have joined. I can see some regular names there. There is, Chetan's there, and living for a better future. My good friend. Lovely pictures in the snow, by the way. I like that. And then there is Nabeen, my good, and one of our clients and a good friend now. So everybody is there. So question number one, Prakash Chandra Pandey. Hey Arun, I'm from India. I've completed my graduation in BSc. I'm looking forward to pursue a PG diploma in logistics and supply chain management. I have scored 67 in PTE. How much experience do I need? I'm planning. I'm looking for January or February intake, and I'm also planning to join AJV. Prakash, at the outset, thank you very much for confirming that you would be working with us. So much appreciated. Not only that you're working with us, but you chose to work with us because it's a big free world, and there are a lot of options for all of you who are watching. But if you're choosing to work with AJV, we give you our 100% commitment to stand by you throughout your journey. So thank you so much for choosing to work with us. And you completed your graduation in BSc and looking forward to pursuing a postgraduate diploma in logistics and supply chain management. I think your PTA looks fine now to me, Prakash. So I don't think PTA is an issue. My concern is if you've done a Bachelor of Science and now planning to shift into logistics and supply chain, we would like to assess and see if you're choosing the right thing, or you're doing what I just started as the introduction to this particular broadcast, where I'm saying don't get fixated by some subject that is in the long-term skill shortage list. You didn't mention what BSc you did. Was it BSc chemistry? Was it BSc botany? Was it BSc zoology? Or was it BSc mathematics or computer sciences? You have not mentioned what BSc. But if you are jumping into logistics and supply chain purely because somebody told you it is a long-term skill shortage area, so get into it and you'll find better jobs, I think you need to sit back and think about it again. Have a chat with our team because, as I tell you very clearly, do not do that mistake. If you are a guy with a maths background or a science background or an engineering background or a technology background, stick to that. And the reason I said those four particular subjects is because they're called the STEM subjects: science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. These are the four most preferred subjects anywhere in the world. So, if you already are coming from a STEM background and you want to shift into logistics and supply chain because somebody told you, hey, look, that's in the long term skill shortage list of New Zealand, that's probably not the best thing to do unless until you already have a background in logistics and supply chain and you are wanting to continue in that particular field as your career and you want to go forward from there. So that's the way to do it, Prakash. But since you've confirmed you're going to be working with us, I promise you we will continue to engage you and talk to you and ensure you're getting into the right course and not just getting into the right course for the sake of joining a course, but something that fits in with your background and your future aspirations. And like I said, don't worry if a particular subject you choose is not in the long-term skill shortage list of New Zealand. It's not the end of the world, guys. There are so many brilliant students of ours who have come for courses which had nothing to do with the long-term skill shortage list, but they've finished the course, found fantastic jobs, and gone on to establish themselves. And some of them are now citizens and residents of New Zealand and happily living in New Zealand. So do not be fixated by LTSSL. So Prakash, talk to other teams, talk to us, and we will take it forward from there. But if you're a STEM person, stick to STEM. Please do not deviate from that because STEM people are very highly in demand, pretty much in different parts of the world. All right, cool. Next question is from Varun Aryan. Hi, sir. How are the opportunities for deep tech such as big data, AI, and blockchain in New Zealand? My God, Varun, you guys scared me with all those big terminology, man. I'm not a technology guy. I'm just a poor BCom guy. That's my certificate somewhere there, and that's my certificate where I studied the graduate certificate in New Zealand immigration advice. And all your technology fellows, you absolutely scare me with these big words like AI and blockchain and deep, what's the other thing? Deep tech. Um, Having said that, jokes apart, Varun, you haven't confirmed whether you're going to be a native student or not. I will really appreciate if you can also confirm, Varun, if you're planning to work with us. Please work with us. I love working with guys who use such large, big technology terms. But I think, like I said, jokes apart, I do have a very fair understanding of technology. I actually like to dabble in technology quite a lot myself. In fact, I sat with one of our past students who came to New Zealand through AJV to Hamilton, where I live, and we've hired him now as a full-time employee of the company. And he and I we sat down and we actually designed an entire software which is to become our in-house CRM for AJV. So I'm quite technology orientated. So when you're talking about big data and artificial intelligence. Frankly, I don't know much about blockchain, but the other stuff that you're talking, big data is the key word, but buzz today. Data warehousing, data mining is the big word. In fact, somebody very close to me works with GE in America and works with terabytes and terabytes of I don't know whatever is the next one of big data. So the scope is very good, Varun. I think your choice of technology plus these particular subjects, I think, is very good. And connect with us. And because, in fact, only yesterday I was reading an email which I get every week on Monday from the CEO of New Zealand Technology Organization, which is like the apex body for all technology firms and organizations in New Zealand. And this gentleman sends out a weekly, like how I come live on Facebook and YouTube every week. This gentleman called Mr. Graham Muller, who is the CEO of NZ Tech, he sends out his weekly emailer, and he was talking about stuff like this. He was talking about big data and artificial intelligence and those kinds of technologies and how they're going to kind of redefine the way New Zealand's technology industry is going to grow. So I think you will good choice, and obviously you sound like the kind of guy who also understands technology well. Last component, as I keep saying always, for you to be successful in New Zealand, you need good advisors. You need people like us who will talk to you continuously and ensure that your journey is progressing smoothly. So, include AJV into your plans, and I think everything will fall into place. All right, cool. Next question is from Dhanush Rajendran from YouTube. When is the last day to apply visa for July intake? My college starting date 23rd of July at ARA courses construction management. Again, Dhanush, you haven't. As I guys, please, if you want good, so proper answers from me, please mention that you are an AGV student or not an AGV student. I mean, I will answer everybody, but if you mention you're an AGV student, I mean, for instance, the question that Dhanush asked is so pertinent. If you're an AGV student, in the next 10 minutes, I can get an update from my team who is also following this chat on Skype on my phone. So when I keep looking down, I'm actually looking down at my team whether they are giving me any inputs about each of you guys. And then, Dhanush, if you were one of our students, by now I could have given you an update because I have this brilliant visa team who sits and ensures that every visa is getting, but being taken care of the right way. But coming to your question, when is the last day to apply for? You probably could still squeeze it in if your agency is really good, like AJV, because we guys are really good at the way we present our files. You probably could still squeeze it in if you're going to ARA and that's the course you're looking for. But I don't know why you left it for so long. So if you are an AGV student, please mention and I will ask my team why it has been waiting for so long. If you're not an AGV student, then I think you need to have a chat with your agency and see if they can present a file that is ready for a decision. And so that in a 2 to 3 weeks time, you can get your visa and still be able to fly into New Zealand on time. So Dhanush, like I said, if you're an AGV student, please let me know. If you're not an AGV student, talk to your agency and we will take. Team, if you're listening in, let me know if Dhanush Rajendran is one of our students so that I can come back and answer him again. All right. Normally, it takes between 4 to 6 weeks for a student visa, but I think on an average, our student visa applications, we've been getting them between 2 to 3 weeks visa. So I think if you are working with us, we should be able to kind of put together a good application and present it and hope for the best. Yeah. Next question is from Sunny Chilal from YouTube again. Again, not mentioned. Guys, start mentioning if you're AJV or not. Got a job offer from New Zealand company. Can you suggest me which route is better to apply visa? Sunny, if you got a job offer, I mean, obviously, it's a good uh, thing that has happened to you. It's not very easy, frankly, for people who are not present in New Zealand to get job offers in New Zealand. But if you got a job offer, good for you. Don't know what kind of job offer it is, whether it is in one of our areas where we are wanting to like essential skills or long-term skills, or I need to understand that if it was just a job offer as a sales manager in an ordinary company, I don't think you would be able to get a work visa or any kind of visa for that matter. So we'll need to get some more details from you, Sunny. So what I suggest is email your job offer and also email your CV to info@ajvglobal.com. Mention clearly in the subject line saying, please assist with work visa, receive job offer, and it will be forwarded to me. I will take a look at it and then I will give you clear information whether it is something that you can pursue or not pursue. Also, bear in mind there are a lot of scams that occur in the name of providing jobs in New Zealand. And I have reported at least about 7 or 8 of these scams to the senior officers inside Immigration New Zealand because a lot of times people come to me saying, I got this job offer. So I do a quick bit of research and some detective work to see if it is actually a genuine job offer. I mean, I'm such a veteran in this industry now. I can look at a job offer and pretty much straight away say whether it's a real one or a fake one. So send the stuff to us and be careful. If you don't get in touch with us later, be careful that you are not falling for the tricks of some scamster and losing your time, money, and effort. So I would suggest email it to us. We'll do a free assessment and let you know. Right. Right. Prakash Chandra comes back and says BSc in bioanalytical science, and I don't have interest in it. If you don't have an interest in it, Prakash, then I think we need to talk to you about other aspects because bioanalytical science and BSc is actually a very good combination. But if you don't have a particular interest in that, then we would like to see if we can get you to get interested in some other STEM subject. If you still say no, STEM is not for me, I really need to move into business, then we might recommend you not so much logistics and supply chain, but a more generic business, which gives you more opportunities at doors. Because once you choose a course in logistics and supply chain, then you will necessarily need to get a job only in that field after you complete your course. But if you do a more generic business kind of course, then that's very easy to look at future jobs in administration, sales and marketing, finance, and HR and various other business areas. So, Prakash, I think you need to connect with us, and we'll be very happy to give you further advice. But I completely respect the fact that you don't want to be involved with your bioanalytical science any longer. I mean, I also did BCom honors for 3 years, and at the end of it, I realized I had no interest in commerce or accounting. I completely understand that. So we will not force you to get into science if you don't want to, but we might put some options in front of you which are good and of interest to you and within STEM. But because that's where the demand is and that's where your future can be better. So all the advice we give you guys, please bear in mind it is not to maximize the profits of our company. It is to ensure that you guys are successful, because if you guys are successful, I know we guys will be successful. And that has been one of our driving forces of AJB. I put it up in our public blogs and videos and everywhere else, saying that our first commitment is to ensuring that we build a good New Zealand. Second, we want to ensure that our clients are successful. Third, we want to ensure that our employees are successful and happy. And last, we are looking at the profits of the company. So that's just the kind of ethos that drives this company. And I'm the guy who started the company. So we are very clear, very straightforward, putting it out there, saying our loyalty is first to New Zealand, then to our clients, then to our employees, and last to the profits of the company. So trust us, work with us. We will give you the best advice we can. All right. Cool. Ramez Rahel says, "Can I change the course after reaching New Zealand?" Ramesh, my team confirms that you are already talking to one of our team members, but you have not sent your documents yet. It is always a concern for us when people are wanting to change a course even before they've reached New Zealand, because bear in mind, changing a course may not be a very easy thing to do, because number one, the visa, that stamp that you get in your passport will state very clearly that this visa is issued to this person to study this particular course at this particular institution. So there are very specific conditions to a visa. So for you to come to New Zealand and then change a course means that you're kind of saying, I don't want to stick to those conditions and start off on a whole new tangent altogether. And sometimes immigration department does not allow you to change it, because they might think that you should have stated it upfront and taken that course in the first place. So if you're talking to our team, Ramesh, I think you need to discuss a bit more as to why you want to consider changing your course even before you've reached New Zealand. Because if you're working with us, we will ensure you're getting into the right course in the first place. So I don't think there'll be a reason for you to change the course after you come to New Zealand, because it's not an easy process. And sometimes it might come back to bite you in the back, because if immigration says, no, we're not going to change a course, but you clearly mentioned that your interest is not to pursue your course, so you're not a bona fide student, get out of the country, then you might be in trouble. So I would say have a good, deep, in-depth chat with our team. And the way we work in our team is that if your advisor is not able to answer your question, it comes to the team leader. If the team leader is still not able to answer your question, comes to the manager. If the manager is not able to answer the question, comes to the senior manager. If the senior manager is not able to answer the question, it comes to me. So, together we're a chain of people who will ensure you guys are getting into the right course, the right college, and at the right cost, and also be able to end up in the right career. So please talk to us and be open and honest, guys. I know some of you probably end up thinking, oh, all those consultants are the same. They'll talk very nicely, and once their job is done and they earn their money, they will not care about us. We are not like that, guys, and I'm being very honest and open about it. I mean, my students and clients from 15 years back are still my friends. They still call me for their housewarmings when a child is born or when they're getting married. So that's the kind of relationships we want to build. We don't want to be people who will give you some nonsense, feed you some, stuff which is not correct, and then act like we've done the right thing. We are not people like that. We'll work with you, and like I said, we will always keep your interests ahead of the money we earn. So feel free, be open and honest with us, just the way we are being open and honest with you. And in that environment of openness and honesty is where good solutions will happen. And I know a lot of you come from backgrounds and countries where honesty is not a very open thing. And I also come from a background where the atmosphere is always a little suspicious. We're always thinking, is that fellow trying to take advantage of me? Especially when it comes to agencies and consultancies and people in the immigration industry. We have this big what do you call title across our forehead as people who will take your money and run away. We are not people like that. I mean, in the midst of that muck, there are some good companies like AJV who are very committed to you guys. So be honest, be open, be truthful, and we will also be honest, open, truthful, and ensure we're giving you the best advice possible. All right, cool. Okay, Coda Space. I'm from Singapore. Is your service available for non-Indian ethnicity? Good question, Coda. I actually made a video on this and put it up on YouTube. If you go to my YouTube channel and check, it says, I think it says, do you guys also work with non-Indian clients? Of course we do, Koda. I mean, yeah, sure, I come from India and so does most of my team and stuff like that. But we are here to service any nationality. And we are very fortunate. We work with some brilliant Sri Lankan clients. We work with some brilliant Bangladeshi clients. We work with Pakistani clients. We work with Middle Eastern clients. We work with Brazilian clients. I think currently we are also dealing with a couple of inquiries from Europe. We've had queries from America. So we work with everybody. In fact, even from Singapore, we worked up. Right now, I'm talking to at least two clients from Singapore. We're talking to at least two clients from China. So we are very global in our outlook. So please do not worry whether we are a purely Indian company. No, we are not. The fact is that India and China are the two largest sending countries, being the two most populous countries. And by virtue of that, a lot of our inquiries we get are also from India. And that's why probably it looks like we are very focused on Indian clients only. No, we love and respect and welcome clients from all nationalities. And I personally don't think I'm very Indian at this point in my life because I've traveled so much. I've lived in the US, I've lived in UK, I've did work in India, and of course I've been a resident of New Zealand since 2001. So my mindset is very international, and so is the case with most of my team members as well. So please engage with us confidently, irrespective of which part of the world you are in. Doesn't matter. You could be from South America, Africa, Europe, North America, Asia, or Oceania. We are here to take care of you. If you're a scientist in Antarctica right now, watching this and telling yourself it's too cold in Antarctica, I'd rather go to a better place like New Zealand, drop us a line and we will take care of you. Next question is from Ravi Jaiswar. Hi, Arun. My wife is an AJV student. She has 7+ years experience as a software engineer, and her academic IELTS score is 7.5. We have also got offer letter from Weltec and EIT. How much scholarship can we expect? Thanks for your guidance. Ravi, good background, excellent background. I don't think there is any scholarship that was proposed at the time of applying. I don't think, to the best of my knowledge, right now, Weltec and EIT, I don't think are running any particular scholarship. And we did run our own in-house scholarship scheme. Like the details are still there on our Facebook. So have a look at that, and if you match the criteria, we'll definitely come back to you. But to the best of my knowledge, I don't think Weltec and EIT are offering any scholarship. Right. Next question is from Raquel Lady Bettel. How is the situation of the new proposal to change situation of international students of level 8, 9, 10? Has the population voted for it to pass? Is it probably to pass when? Raquel, like I told in a very elaborate video, this is not law yet. This is not policy yet. It is just a proposal. Please go back and watch that video of mine. It is there on my YouTube. And I personally don't think it may get passed, it may not get passed, but at this point, it is still being discussed. So just go back to my video on YouTube and have a look at it. And there's a very elaborate, opinion I have provided about this. So I think it's going to take some more time for that to come through. Yeah. Surya Vasudevan asks, should we choose institutions depending on the cities, considering the job opportunities? Because Auckland and Wellington have major share of job opportunities in New Zealand. Good question, Surya. I think you need to look at the papers in your course, and I think what you need to first focus is on the course that you want to study. If your course falls into place and the papers that are there in the course are good, and you kind of feel that is the subject for you, then I think everything else will fall into place. For instance, if you want to do a course which is specializing in agriculture, one of the best universities for that or institutions for that is in a place called Lincoln, which is next to Christchurch. So sometimes it is the course that will define which city you go to. But obviously, I mean, the Auckland and Wellington being the largest cities, the opportunities are obviously higher there in the cities. But like I said, it is always you need to look at the course first, followed by the job opportunities. And once you finish the course, there's no restriction on which city you can stay in. You can move from city to city. So I do not think that a city preference is very important at the start. Look at the course and look at the papers you're going to do in a course. And also, you could, for all I care, for all you know, you might be studying a course in Whangarei, which is one of our northernmost cities. And after finishing that, you might then want to move to Auckland. So bear in mind that there is no restrictions on movement after you finish your course. So because of that, I suggest focus on the course first and then focus on which city you want to move to because there are more job opportunities there. Hope I've answered that. Okay. Saurabh Savant asks, I have more than 7 years of experience in shipping and freight forwarding to India. Can directly apply for here. Please reply on Saurabh Savant. Saurabh, it's not easy to apply directly for residency in New Zealand. Again, I have put up a video which clearly states that a residency cannot be arrived at directly, because first and foremost you need to get 160 points from factors like your age, your qualification, your work experience, in which industry, if you're married, what your spouse qualification, so on and so forth. So when a combination of all these things is put together, first and foremost you need to get 160 points. After getting those 160 points, there are two particular factors that you need to fulfill as a condition. One, you should either have a job offer in New Zealand or be employed in New Zealand, or two, you should have studied in New Zealand for at least 2 years and got yourself a master's or a PhD. Only then you will be able in a position to be able to apply for a resident visa. In the event you are not able to meet all these criteria, then there are other pathways, which is where, as a company, we strongly keep advocating, saying, hey, look, consider the study plus settle pathway. But since you've already shared your email, Saurabh, I recommend that you forward your CV to info@ajvglobal.com, and I will have a look and we'll come back to you with more suggestions. All right? Cool. Right. Daryl Debrio. Hi, good evening, sir. My fiance has completed master's in mathematics and wants to move to New Zealand. What's the best thing for her to study and path to residency? Daryl, it's a good background. Like I keep saying, in my broadcast and my video, STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, is a good background, good subject. So if your girlfriend or your fiance is got a background in mathematics, I think it's a good subject which will create the right platform for her to go forward and then seek opportunities in a good area like that. And if she wants to move, what's the best thing for her to study in? Like I said, she could continue to do something in mathematics, or she might branch off into a related subject of mathematics, like perhaps information technology or computer sciences, because obviously that's also all running on mathematics as the background. So possibly that's something that she could consider. But I would strongly recommend that you and her get in touch with us so that we can assess to see what might be a good fit for your fiance. And I think more importantly, we also want to assess and see whether you, Daryl, can also accompany her, because the rules around the partnership for students and their spouses, and whether they can travel to New Zealand together, whether the a spouse or the partner can get a work visa also needs to be looked at. And because I'm a licensed immigration advisor and one of our senior managers is about to get a license very, very shortly, we should be able to do a proper assessment and let you know whether you and her can come together. Because if you are also able to accompany her, then the advantages are that you can also work, so which is a fantastic thing. So yeah, all things put together, I would recommend you get in touch with us. But mathematics as a subject is very good. As I answered just before to the previous question, direct residency is mostly ruled out for people who are not present in New Zealand. So, study plus settled pathway is a good option, and we would definitely like to work with you and your fiance and ensure she gets into the right course and that you're also able to accompany her. So, please connect with us, and we'll be able to guide you further. Next question is from Gaurav Nagpal, and he says, "Hello, sir. I am qualified CA in India, working in banking industry since last 5 years. Can you please suggest the job opportunities in New Zealand? How I can go ahead further?" Gaurav, same answer. Very difficult to find employment in New Zealand or residency in New Zealand when you're not here and you're not able to fulfill those three criteria. If you're wondering what three criteria, please rewind about 2 minutes of this broadcast after it becomes a video and sits in YouTube or on Facebook, and you will understand what I'm talking about. So, which is where, as an organization and as a licensed immigration advisor, we like to propound the theory that the study plus settle pathway is a good opportunity to consider, because it does give people the time to be in New Zealand for 1 or 2 years, depending on the length of the course you choose, followed by a post study work visa period. So, in those periods is when you guys can, kind of establish yourself, create a network, and go seek employment. And when you seek employment, by and large, most of you will get the required number of points and tick off all the conditions to be able to seek residency in New Zealand. And obviously, because you're getting the job, your question about will I find a job in New Zealand is also addressed. So that's the way to do it, Gaurav. So email your CV to info@agvglobal.com. We will have a look and come back to you with some suggestions. But you have a good background. You're already a qualified chartered accountant. And as I keep saying, one of my, is for some of you guys who follow my videos regularly, you'll see that I have some standard sentences. And one of my standard sentences is that some professions are always going to be in demand, like priests and lawyers and doctors and accountants. So, there you have it. There's always a demand for people like you in all societies, including New Zealand. So, connect with us, email your CV. We will take a look and put forward some ideas in front of you. Also, if you're married, it's a good opportunity to consider, because if you're a couple, one of you can study and the other one can work. And the person working, if potentially can get a full time job related to their background and to their qualifications, they could probably very well go on to create that residence opportunity for the entire family. It's happened a lot of times when a student came and her husband came as a work visa holder. In the first 3 or 4 months, the husband found a job, and on his own ability or her own ability, were able to go and apply for residency. So those possibilities certainly exist. And the most important thing I think all of you guys and girls will need to understand is that New Zealand is a country wanting to attract good migrants, and that's why we have an active migration policy. And one option. So there are various ways you can migrate. One is the skilled migrant category. One is the entrepreneur category. One is the investor category. So there are various categories. And I think one of the most clearly defined and probably a very smart way of migrating is also the study and settle pathway category, which my team and I would like to really push for it. And because it actually serves New Zealand in two different ways. At the initial phase, students are contributing their international fees, so helping us to make it into a $4.5 billion industry. So that's fantastic revenue for the country. And then about 19 or 20% of them go on to become future workers and residents of the country. So I think it's a very, very smart policy by the government of New Zealand. And for those of you who have the right attitude, skills, and knowledge, great opportunity. Make an investment, come as a student, study, get the post-study work visa, pick up a job, pick up the points, apply for residency, stay back. So New Zealand is happy to get another skilled migrant, and you're happy to live in a beautiful country like New Zealand, just like how I feel happy every day with the sheer beauty and peace around me. So that's really the way this whole system works. Right, Faiz A. Raza says, that's good. I completed BA and looking to learn MA and earn at New Zealand. Please assist me. Faiz, we'll be happy to assist you. I'm just looking at some of my queries from my team as well. So, guys, I look at three screens. I look at this for inputs from my team. That is the laptop where the actual camera is. So I look into that, and that is the monitor, which is like I actually have a small TV attached to the laptop, so I keep reading in that and then coming back to the camera. So if you see me do that, I'm basically looking at all my three screens. So right. Faiz, you already have completed BA and looking to learn MA. And good logical progression, BA to MA makes sense, Bachelor of Arts to Master of Arts. Of course, we can work with you and understand which particular stream in arts that you would look at, because arts has got a lot of streams, as you're aware. Are you looking at political science? Are you looking at public administration? Are you looking at some other stream? So I would like to understand that. And if you come in as a student, which is what you seem to have clearly expressed, Faiz, then you are allowed to work part time while you're studying. And after you complete your studies, you're also allowed to get a full time work visa, and you're allowed to work full time. So absolutely, the opportunity to earn would be there for you as well. But bear in mind, while you're studying, it may not be enough for you to. A lot of people also ask us, can I earn enough money while I'm studying to be able to pay my next semester fees? Doesn't work, guys. You're coming here to New Zealand primarily as a student, so stay focused on that. Be a student, be a committed, dedicated, sincere student. If that falls into place properly, everything else will fall into place properly. So all the best. Come forward and talk to our team, connect with our team phase, and we'll put some options in front of you. Okay, question from Bilal Rubani. Hi, sir. I'm Bilal from Pakistan. I have done 3 years diploma in electronics and have 5 years of experience. And my wife has done masters in English. Now wants to start MPhil. What are the chances for us? Very good, Bilal. It's, I think, a very good combination, because if your wife is planning to do MPhil in New Zealand, obviously you can accompany her as a on a spouse work visa, subject to meeting all the partnership requirements, of course. And you have a good background. You have electronics and work experience as well, so I think it's a good one. And obviously, if your wife is planning to come and study in English and do an MPhil, that's also at a good level. It's at a master's level 9. If the policy does change, she's likely to get a 3 years work visa, so you might also end up getting a 3 years work visa as a spouse. And with your background in electronics, there's a very good possibility that you might pick up a good job and then become the person to go forward and become the primary applicant for a resident visa. So overall, I think your and your wife profile is very good, and I strongly recommend that you speak to us so that we can customize a solution for you and put it across. We're working with a lot of very good Pakistani clients at the moment, and yeah, we're very pleased to work with clients from different parts of the world: Nepal, Pakistan, Bangladesh, India, Sri Lanka, UAE, some African countries. We work with clients from Egypt. We're working with clients from Singapore and various places. So, very warm welcome, Bilal. Look forward to working with you as well. Uh, Next question is from Vijay. He says, hello, Arun. As I discussed with you earlier, Vijay has not mentioned whether he is uh, Vijay is asking, hello, Arun. As I discussed with you earlier, I got offer from Fitiraya. Does University Institute with category 1 and 2 ranking have any impact on jobs or visa? The simple answer to that, Vijay, is not really. I don't think category 1 or category 2 is something that a lot of employers would like to look at. I'm just trying to read if there's any notes for me, as this might create an issue. So, Vijay, it's been confirmed that you're also working with us. So, thanks for that. There is not really, I'm yet to come across any employer in New Zealand who says, "Oh, look, I'll give you preference because you're from a Category 1 institution," or or I'll look down upon you because you're from a Category 2 institution. I have never ever come across a situation like that. And by and large, category 1 and 2 are good institutions, and there could be small corrections that NZQR has suggested to them so that they can move back into category 1. So the short answer is don't worry, Vijay. I don't think it's such a big issue whether they're going to a category 1 or a category 2. And again, whether it's university or an institute of technology or a private training institution, again, a lot of employers don't really care. So purely from a job perspective, I don't think you have to worry about. And also bear in mind, we at AJB, we have chosen certain number of institutions, whether it is university or institute of technology or a private institution. We have made it our portfolio only after we are very clear that we want to work with them, because it's not always that we work with every. In fact, every week I get one or two emails from the small little private institutions saying, "Hey, look, we want to work with you." So I write back to them saying, "Sorry, guys, not interested to work with you because we have a certain reputation to maintain, and we are respected in the market. So we don't want to work with every Tom, Dick, and Harry institution." So in fact, I think about 2 weeks back, we announced on Facebook that we are now working with an institution called Queenstown Resort College, which is one of the best in hospitality sort of thing, and very reputed. So that's the kind of institutions we work with. So if we are sending it to an institution or portfolio, by and large, you're fine. Don't worry about it. Royman SR, sir, I'm Royman from India. I would like to shift to New Zealand with my family. I'm holding BA philosophy in subjects like sociology and economics. In addition to it, I have LLB. Sir, presently I'm working as a civil police officer in Kerala Police since 2012 April. Sir, do I have any better opportunity to study in New Zealand? After that, get PR there. Please share me your advice. Yeah, I mean, Royman, that's what I'm saying. Absolutely. I mean, it could be, but although you come from a public administration kind of a background, because you're already a police officer working with the police department in India, and your subjects are Bachelor of Arts with philosophy, sociology, and economics. So potentially there could be a possibility, but although I think these subjects are not very common, they're not run of the mill kind of subjects which everybody is wanting to get a piece of. But as I keep saying, if you have the ability, the English skills, the attitude skills and knowledge, any subject is fine. I came to New Zealand with a background. In fact, my wife and I, we both come from a BCom background, Bachelor of Commerce background. And so, again, Bachelor of Commerce is not one of those very highly desired subjects in New Zealand. But if you have the attitude, the ability, the skills to make it, I think everything is absolutely possible. So I think for you as well, Royman. And I think, Royman, the other interesting thing in your case, which we would like to consider, is whether you're married. I know I'm assuming you're married. So there could be a very interesting possibility created from your wife's angle as well, because if she's also somebody who is good in English and has got a good academic track record, more than likely she could come as a student and you could possibly accompany her on a work visa. So those possibilities will exist. So connect with our team, Raymond, and we would like to advise you further. Send your CV, and if you're married, also your wife's CV to info@ajvglobal.com. We will have a look and come back to you with more suggestions. But hey, look, I can see you working, in a security firm because you have a background as a police officer. Those kinds of possibilities are there. But like I said, it may not be the easiest of pathways for someone with your background. So talk to us and we'll give you more information. Deep Fay asks, why don't New Zealand immigration doesn't accept work experience from Indian MNC IT companies such as Wipro, TCS, and Infosys? Which IT companies Indian experience does NZ immigration accept? Um, Not an easy question to answer, Deep, because they do accept experience from India if you have a job offer in New Zealand, or if it is in the long-term skill shortage area. So I don't think your question is correct. I don't think your question is right when you said that immigration New Zealand does not accept work experience from Indian IT firms. I don't think that's technically correct. If you have an job offer in New Zealand, or you do find employment in the IT sector, I think it will definitely be considered. So If you want more clarity and you're applying for your residency, email your CV to us. But technically, your question I think is not correct. They do accept work experience from most countries, if subject to some other conditions being met. And there's also something called the you know comparative labor markets, where New Zealand has published a list of countries which they call them as comparable labor markets to New Zealand. So, if you're from those countries, then of course every experience is counted. But if you're not from those countries, but if you are in the long-term skill shortage list and if you have work experience, so certain conditions are there. So, when those conditions are met, absolutely, work experience from India is also considered. So, I think you need to rephrase your question. And if you're looking at immigration advice, email your query to info@agvglobal.com and we'll come back to you about it. All right. Okay. Kiran Lal ji. Hi, sir. I'm arriving New Zealand on July 9th. Kiran sounds like one of our students, if I'm not mistaken. Very familiar name. Kiran, if you're a Nigeria student, you should proudly say, sir, I'm a Nigeria student. I'm arriving into New Zealand. And your course starts on August 6th for GD in Applied Management, Level 7 from Otago Polytechnic, Auckland. So, will I be under the old rules for post study work visa? Yes, Kiran, because you have arrived under the old rules, so most likely you will be under those rules. But when they, if and when, and that's what I keep saying, if and when they do change the rules, they might also say, hey, look, everybody graduating after February of next year or January of next year will also come under new rules. So at this stage, we don't know. But don't worry. At the least, you're safe for at least 1 year of post-study work visa. And you might get lucky and get a 3 years. Let's see. It's all, it's up in the air. And yeah, my team's just confirmed, Kiran, that you're a very proud AJV student. I look forward to meeting you when I come to Auckland. So you're arriving on the 9th of July, which is great. Hey guys, I live in Hamilton, but I keep traveling across New Zealand quite a bit. I'm quite an avid traveler, like to take my car and go around all across New Zealand. I've traveled from tip to tip of New Zealand, from north to south, at least 3 times. So yeah, I will come around and say hello to you guys. Yeah. Hey JV Global, Zoya's care. Hi sir, what is your Skype ID? Zoya, I'm already on YouTube and on Facebook. Connect with me on Facebook. You can add me as a friend and inbox me because I'm not always on Skype. I'm on Skype, but I'm on Skype with my team. So I like to leave Skype only for my team matters, but for all other matters, please connect with me through YouTube or Facebook, and I will certainly respond. Thank you. Kiran Lal says, and I'm an AJV student. Good for you, Kiran. Well done, smart guy. Mm. Anshul Rana says, sir, what is the entry procedure to become student of New Zealand Institute of Chartered Accountants? Good question. NZICA, I think, Anshul, for you to, I think, get your qualifications assessed or to do some papers, I'm not entirely sure how NZICA works. You may not necessarily have to be in New Zealand. I don't know if NZICA actually runs courses where you can enroll directly. So, because I'm not very sure, Anshul, I don't want to answer it because I don't want to give wrong information. But go to their website, go to NZICA website, have a look. If Because to the best of my knowledge, NZICA is not a registered uh, by NZQA kind of organ. I could be wrong. That's what I'm saying. I'm not sure. But I don't think if you enroll for a course, you'll actually be given a student visa. You might be asked to do online courses and things like that. So study NZICA. If you still have further queries, send an email to info@ajvglobal.com with your CV and your question, and we will answer it further. But quite frankly, I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to give any information which may not be correct. Pervez Khan asks, hello, sir. I've graduated in hotel management and want to move with my wife to New Zealand. What are the options I have and how long is the process? Good question, Pervez. Like I said, the direct jobs are very difficult. Direct residency is almost ruled out. So the third pathway, which I mean, if you have lots of money, you can come as an entrepreneur. If you have income obscene amount of money, they can come as an investor. But if you don't have a lot of money or an obscene amount of money and you can't get a job directly and you can't get residency directly, the only other pathway left is to come as a student. So either you or your wife can opt to become a student, and the other one can come on a work visa, depending on the fact that you've chosen the right level of course. So that's probably the best pathway for you, Parvez. So connect with our team, email your CV and your wife's CV to info@ajvglobal.com, and we will take it up from there. All right. Yeah. Okay. Gosh, you guys are very good at answering questions and, sorry, asking questions. Rather. Sikandar Singh, hello, I'm in New Zealand. My college in Rotorua, Toi, Ohomai. Can I change the campus to Tauranga? I think you probably could if you're not changing the course part, just the campus. Probably could speak to your college and they may be able to help you. I don't recollect Sikandar being an AGV student. If you're an AGV student, I would have done it for you. But since you're not one of our students, speak to your college, they may be able to help. But if it's only just changing the campus, I think it's possible. You can do something called variation of conditions. So, yeah. Right. Uh, Shahrukh Jalani says, hello, sir. I'm graduated nursing students and working in New Zealand. Not sure what your question is, Shahrukh. Are you saying you graduated as a nurse and want to work in New Zealand? Your question is not clear. Reframe your question, please, Shahrukh. Thank you. Right. Karthik Ramaswamy says, hi, sir. I'm an AJV student. I've got offer from ARA level 7 as well as from NMIT Nelson campus level 8 for supply chain management program. Looking for your advice on which college should I opt for, considering various parameters like campus location, job opportunities, teaching standards, etc. I'll start with the last one first, Karthik. And first of all, thanks for choosing AJV. Much appreciated. Very, very smart young man. And we like people like you. But teaching standards will be the same because they are both owned and operated by the government of New Zealand. They are both institutes of technology, so don't worry about the teaching standards. Job opportunities, quite frankly, might be a little bit more in Christchurch because it's a larger city than Nelson. Okay. Campus location doesn't matter. Both are spectacularly beautiful cities. I've been to Nelson and I've also been to Christchurch. Very, very beautiful cities. But like I said, because the Christchurch being a larger city, obviously will have more job opportunities. Of course, then the last problem in your situation is that you've got a level 8 from NMIT and a level 7 from ARA, but by and large, again, not too much of a difference. So, all things considered, I might suggest ARA over NMIT by just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Hope I've answered, Karthik. But somebody else responded to Karthik saying NMIT level 8. So, obviously, somebody who is also studying at NMIT. And we've had good outcomes for our students also from NMIT, by the way, Karthik. So, very difficult for me to call and say, go here or go there. Also, because after you finish your course, you're not bound to one city. You can move in any city. And so, you could very well study in Nelson, which has got lower standard or, cost of living. Sorry, not standard, lower cost of living as compared to Christchurch. Live in a beautiful part of New Zealand, finish that course, and then move to any city, or prefer to be in a larger city from day one. So the call is yours. For me, it is very difficult to pick between ARA and MIT. Both are very good institutions. Nelson and Christchurch are both very good institutions. Job opportunities will obviously be more in Christchurch, but it's after your course. So difficult to pick. But all things considered, maybe 0.5% more for ARA. So that's my suggestion. Brown Boy Tech asks, "What's your residency application fees?" Arun, depends, Brown Boy. It depends on whether you're an AJV student or not. We offer 25% discount to AJV students, and the non-AJV students, it will be the full cost. And again, depends on it is just an individual or whether there is a family included. If there is a family included, how many? Please send an email with your profile and say seeking advice for resident visa application. AGV students listening in, you guys get 25% discount on all our further visa processing charges. In fact, the post-study work visa open. We are doing free of cost. We do not charge anything for all our AGV students. So we are trying to offer some benefits to our AGV students. But Brown Boy, please do connect through info@agvglobal.com. Send your CV and please mention, and it will get forwarded to me, and I'll come back to you. Right. Okay. Lukman Rahman asks, can I study logistics and supply chain management level 8 after completing MBA in marketing from the UK University? Technically, you could, man, provided we are able to understand why you want to do it, and we are then able to, on your behalf, be able to explain uh, to visa officer why you're opting to step down from MBA, which is level 9, to a course which is slightly lower. But technically, it's possible, Rahman. It's not that you can't do an MBA and then step down. Of course, you can, but we would like to talk to you, get more details, and then based on that, take it forward from there. So please connect with our team. Shabam Sharma, quickly checking to see, guys, how many more questions are there. Okay. I'll quickly. So there's somebody called Vicky Jack who says, I'm an AGV student. I'm coming to NZ on July intake for level 7 GD in MIT. You're telling in this video that level 8 or 9 people will get the PR easy compared to level 7. So it's very hard to make for PR. Even if I made the score with job with the required salary, is it hard to give it? No, not at all, Vicky. It is finding that job. If you are able to find that relevant job and you're able to get that proper job, then you will more than likely get the required number of points. So don't worry about level 7, 8, or 9. Don't worry. And we are there uh, continuously talking to you even after you reach New Zealand. So don't worry, Vicky. I think your um, concern is unfounded. Level 7, level 8, level 9 doesn't matter. It is whether you found a relevant job and if you're getting the required number of points. Yeah. Right. How are we going, team? There's one question from Vignesh Rajendran. He says, hi, I'm an AGB student. I'm coming to NZ in July intake for level. Oh, okay, I just answered that. Okay, am I done or? Okay, looks fine at this point, guys. There are some more questions which I was not able to answer. But as every week, I can go on for an hour. After that, this starts giving up. So it's very difficult for me to go beyond that. If I have not answered certain questions in this particular session, we promise we will connect back with you and come back and provide those answers. Uh, Maybe I'll quickly answer this last one from Sheen Varghese, which says, I'm an AGV student. I have 7 years of experience as a software engineer in Ernst& Young. I'm applying for PG Diploma in Computer and Info Science at AUT. Would you recommend Masters over PG Diploma? I just mentioned, I started this broadcast, in fact, saying be careful about choosing Masters. Doesn't matter, it's about finding a relevant job after you finish the course. And sometimes a Masters can be so tough that you may not be able to complete it successfully or find it very, very stressful. So doesn't matter. If we have suggested a level 8 PG diploma, it's as good as a level 9 master's. But if you're very keen on doing a master's, go for it. But please be prepared for a hard graft. All right. So that's my advice to you, Sheila. I think Wiki Jack, I have answered. Brown Boy Biotech. Now I remember. Brown Boy Tech is our student from Wellington called Kaval. Kaval, my friend, if you're listening, please connect after this broadcast on the phone and we'll be able to give you the advice. Or better still, speak to Mary and she'll give you the details. You are, of course, an AGV student, so you will get all the discounts from us and all the right advice and service as well. Right. So, guys, thank you very much as always. Pleasure to sit here and answer these questions to the best of my ability. It's a live situation, so sometimes I might not be able to be as lucid as I like to be, but hopefully I give out good information that will help you guys, whoever is planning to come to New Zealand. So, as always, I end with only one thing: fantastic country. We require a lot of beautiful country, safe country, secure country, welcoming country. Now we are growing, we require a lot of skilled migrants, and I strongly believe international students going to become very good skilled migrants. If you work with a good company like AJV based in New Zealand, we will work together and ensure you're the right kind of person with the right skills and attitude so that you can not only come here but go on to become successful future workers and residents and citizens of New Zealand. So, and pick to work with a company that is committed to you, and that's where you guys must consider working with AGV, right? So, as always, thanks for being there on this broadcast, and to become a video, please share the video with your family and friends. And till the next time, goodbye from Hamilton, and I shall be back on air shortly again soon. Bye bye. Good night.